Wild zebras. It has no sauce. It's dry.
Probably not wise.
Gotcha, white folks.
You pooped.
Gotcha.
Where in the world are we going?
Like truffles in the wild.
You could pass as a white dude.
I ain't mad at that. Just in case I forget my name.
So I'm Justin Draplin.
I'm CJ Whitfield.
We're the Wild Zebras.
I got one better. Here you go, Justin. I got you. It's a space heater because you were frozen. Doom. Space heater, you're pro. Okay, never mind. All right, here we go. Hold on, let me spike the audio. When you hear that, you'll know.
No, I'm going to include all that.
No. I better not see that in the promo. What's up? What's up, fellas of the jungle? You tuned in to the Wild Zebras with myself, CJ Whitfield, and my co-host I carry on my back, Justin Draplin. If you're tuning in now for the first time, you're in for a treat. If you checked us out before and haven't hit the subscribe button, first of all, shame on you, but we're a forgiving duo, so you can go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit those like buttons every time, and we bring in the craziness from the jungle. Justin, say what's up.
What's up?
Yeah, baby. Yeah. So we're in holiday season, right? So it's so much going on, man. From PS5 shopping to
holy cow.
PS5 shopping to the same. Oh, did you see the star witness for Rudy Giuliani in the Michigan, I guess, Senate trial for voter corruption and suppression?
I heard someone just laughed at him straight up. I didn't see it.
So this lady was the star witness. The star witness was bonkers. I don't know if we can start incorporating little clips. This lady was bonkers. I got to see you some stuff, or you can look it up while we're on this.
Giuliani's witness draws audible laughter during testimony.
She was like tipsy off happy hour, but the confidence and the entitlement, the confidence in the white entitlement was just for display. It was just like, it was at its pinnacle. It was. Oh my gosh!
You know what? I've decided though. I'm convinced that calling people white is now racist. The far left has jumped the shark when it comes to racism, and so therefore now calling people white is now racist, because if you think about it,
okay,
when people use the term white, it's always now associated with white supremacy, white privilege, nothing good. Other than you
white flight when the value goes down.
White people are controlling. They were conquerors. They destroyed the Native American. So everything now that is associated with white is bad. So therefore, I'm invoking white privilege on the term white. No one else can say white except for white people.
Really quick before we stamp that invokage, all those things you said were true though. So.
Right.
You just disregard that, or
our word though.
Oh, your word.
I'm claiming it. If you're not white, you cannot say white unless you're a racist.
You know what? There it is. You know what? These are sensitive times. Everything is offensive.
Everything.
I say that's par for the course. I say that's not outlandish. It's so sensitive.
I totally want to do like somebody call me white in like a big group of people, and I can totally flip out on them. How dare you? Don't you know how offensive that is to me because of white supremacy? And you're trying to push that down my throat? You're just using that as a term to tear me down and be offensive.
Oh! At my word, you shouldn't say I'm not white. I'm Caucasian.
You can't say that, CJ. Even though you're referring to that, you just said it. Okay, that is offensive. You can't.
There it is.
You gotta say the W word.
We need the W word. Okay.
Yeah.
Or Caucasianally challenged. Caucasianally challenged.
Pigmentally challenged.
There it is. There it is. Okay, I like that. Sounds sophisticated right there.
Melanin deficient.
There. We need to, and if you say the W word, you need a little bail her home. We need to turn into one of these shock jock radio shows anyway. So somebody
Yeah.
says a W word, white, oh, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, you know.
You keep saying it though, man. I'm really getting mad now.
Well, that was an example. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to be less racist this show. Try to be a little bit less racist.
Okay, so this lady, tell me about her.
Oh, she's a
White
nut.
privilege?
She's a nut bucket. So according to her, she lost her job, I guess at Ford or something. She works as a tech consultant or IT consultant for whoever does the voter counting and sets up the systems and stuff. So long story short, she's the only one that sees all these incredibly outlandish, make-believe, Disney fairy tale things. She saw vans come and remove stuff. She saw people, only her, nobody else on the planet, her and the little green men that were dancing around the room to Pitbull, saw people feeding the same ballots in over and over and over again for hours, and no one stopping them. People bringing in fake ballots when they were supposed to bring in food. A van backed up. Nobody else saw it. And she's the only Republican in a bipartisan count that saw this and was able to say, "Oh, but other people saw it, but they're so scared." Because
That's right.
she says, "Huh?"
That's right. It's true. I believe that.
Yes, her life has been ruined for blowing the whistle, and she can't get a job even though she had been fired for a job. She had to move. She had to change her number. She had to shut down her social media, even though she has on her social media. I was on news today on Fox News talking crazy, and it looked like she had like 14 margaritas, or
14. That's a
before
lot of
you have
margaritas.
to, at the end of this show. Matter of fact, we might have to pause the show for you to see it. It's like a minute clip, just for you to see the ridiculousness, and then we might have to just do like a segment where we address this. It's so ridiculous. Giuliani was trying to grab her and stop her, and she was like, "Oh, it's a like," and these are Republican senators that are asking her like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, so you're saying the count is off? We don't have a 30,000 votes off." I think they're off by 130, and you didn't see it. I did. Okay, I mean, you guys, I mean, you must have changed something up because I saw it. Nobody saw what I saw. You have to see it. And the people are making mockeries and video. It was some of the most outlandish stuff ever. You got to see it.
All right, I
You
pulled it
have
up.
to see it. Can you press pause and see it? It's a 1 minute clip.
I got it up, and I'm waiting to. They're like talking about it. It's a CNN clip, and they're talking about it. But I'll wait until they get to the part where she's talking, and then I'll unpause it. And oh wait, I could probably speed it up.
I can send you the
I don't know.
1 minute
I don't
clip
know
of this. I can send you the clip of not. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I know.
Oh, here we are.
Old, man.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, you got it. Pull it
Let's
up.
see.
You go ahead.
The poll book is completely off. Completely off.
Yeah, I can hear. That's good.
I'd say that poll book is off by over 100,000. That poll book. Why don't you look at the registered voters on there?
So
He's cutting them off.
is if the
Guess how many? Wait. What about the turnout rate? 120%.
let's let Representative Johnson ask his question.
Giuliani.
Why we're not seeing the poll book off by 30,000 votes? That's not the
What
case.
do you guys do? Take it and do something crazy to it?
Take it. Do something crazy to it.
This is like watching some sort of a skit.
Take it. Do something crazy to it. Bro, the part that pisses me off is these are taxpayer dollars that are sitting here having a hearing, and these people are getting paid their rate or whatever they are, and the bailiffs and the transcribers and all this stuff are getting paid money that my wife and I and my parents and sisters and stuff pay to listen to this buffoonery take place of her and Giuliani, just making up stuff, throwing crap up against the wall and hoping that it sticks. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. Why is the Supreme, why are representatives from Congress listening to this idiot, knowing that everything she's saying is just made up? Like, how long are they going to go along with Hail Trump? Like, how? Like, when is somebody going to say enough? Common sense will prevail. It's just
Never politics, dude. It's all about politics. It's all about, I mean, look at anything,
that's a great example. Great example.
anything. I mean,
Anything.
anything. If there's somebody that's going Republican or somebody that's going Democrat, it doesn't matter. That's politics. That's why I think it's funny when people say like, oh, they're trying to make this political. That's because they're a politician. To them, everything is political. That's literally their job, to make
Absolutely. I
everything
agree with that.
political.
Oh, he's not a politician. That's where all the police officers I used to work with. Oh, he's not a politician. That's why we love him. He's not a politician. He's literally the politician, the head politician.
Yeah.
You know, that's not an excuse for acting nuts.
Part of being a politician is pretending like you're not playing politics.
There it is.
Like that's part of it. Like,
but you are, by definition, you are a politician. Like, I don't.
that's why if I ever run for anything, like when I run for president in 2040, I'm going to be
Okay.
like, I'm a partisan hack. I am going to just totally politicize everything, no matter what. So get
like,
out. in the open.
like the W word. That's like the W
Yeah,
word.
I think people will respect that,
There it is.
right?
I
Because
get-
like, it's just so disgusting to me. Like, oh,
So
I
it's
get
so funny though, but that is the reverse angle of this. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, these are like the police officers. When I'm like, this guy's he do something idiotic, and that was their defense. He's not a politician. But that's the thing. Oh, he's honest because he's not a politician. Then you come in, you politicize everything, and they're gonna be like, oh, he's honest because he's a super politician. It's like flipping it on his head. And
Yeah.
that could
You just
work.
got to be
That could
extreme.
work.
Whatever you do, you got to go all in.
Yeah.
That's
That
it.
could work. That could work. I'm gonna politicize everything, but yeah, that was I don't get it. Like when Bernie was running, they would say you're too radical. You know, Democrats would go against them, and we don't need people at McDonald's making $30 an hour, you know, or whatever. But when Trump's doing this stuff, it's like they're standing in line, and nobody will be like, no one person Republican is like, this guy is an idiot. This is ridiculous. He's just making up stuff, and we're all going along for the ride. Some people will jump off board and stop echoing it, but nobody will come out and say enough. This
Yeah.
is stupid. Like
Because it's
I don't
politics.
understand it.
Because then they get hurt. Because the people that are on the Trump train
Ah.
won't vote for them.
Yeah, so they're worried about their jobs and their political
right.
careers. Okay,
Which
this
is
makes
their
sense.
job.
I never-
Their job is to listen to the people and get reelected. Like that's what's funny. Oh well, they're just saying that to get reelected. Yes, because that's literally their job.
Okay.
Their job as a politician is to say what they think they need to say to keep getting elected. Like
Okay.
that's how politics, that's the whole premise of politics. I know, oh, make the world a better place.
Yeah,
And
I
shut up. You're trying to get elected. Yeah, fine. You might want to try to do that, but ultimately your job is to get elected to be able to do
Absolutely. I got into it when I was there on my short time police officer because he called him. Well, my coworker told me they got pissed. They took me out to lunch and they said, "Why'd you pick this job?" And I said, "For a pension. Because the best pension. Pensions don't exist anymore, you know." And he got all mad and this because I didn't give the canned response like I was in the interview because I was talking amongst colleagues, not at an interview board, is to help people. And then I told him he was not talking to me for 2 days. One, I didn't care about that. But two, I told he was my trainer at the time. Just like, you said politician is to listen to the people. Bro, you go to work to get paid, period. Miss me with that, I want to help people and I'm that is a byproduct. You leave your family, you leave your kids, you leave your wife, your loved ones, you're gone for 13 hours a day. We're out in the cold and snow to get a paycheck. One. Okay. You give tickets out every day. We incarcerate, take freedom away for, especially when I was in Garden City, for the most frivolous. Oh, you got outstanding tickets. You got 4 tickets that you never paid. Your license is suspended. Come go to jail. You can't do that anymore, but I'm pretty sure they were pulling up people for marijuana in their car. This. Outside of saving somebody from getting hurt, which happens, again, a byproduct, 90% of us is ruining people's day, ruining people's day. Your tags are expired. Your plate's expired. No insurance. I'm driving around and we're going to get an arrest today. That's what my thing, you're going to get an arrest today. We're not coming off the road till you get an arrest today. That's crap. All this, and I get it. It comes with the job. You're held a hero by your peers and the community and all that stuff. Byproducts, and we are heroic in certain instances, domestic disputes, all that stuff. dangerous. That's the most dangerous situation. But 95% of the time, we are ruining people's day. Don't tell me it's not about getting paid. You know, you worked it. If they took your and slashed your salary in half, you wouldn't be a police officer. If they said, "Oh, you're going to make your $30,000 a year base salary," you wouldn't be here. You know. So I just thought that thought kind of merged everything together about the politician. And I remember the police officer saying, I remember the guy getting mad because, you know, I didn't say, you know, to help people, but
Yeah,
I know why he was mad.
Don't you think that's a little bit cynical? Like, don't you think legitimately there are, I mean, you would know probably better than I, because I only get the canned response if I'm talking to a police officer because I'm a civilian.
Yeah. Oh, that tripped me out when they were using that term too. Like we were like in a war and like somewhere. Civilian life. My academy director said I was going to have a problem in that profession because I have a civilian mindset. I said, so I question stuff. I just don't listen to everything directly and don't do it without thought. And, you know, that's a problem. Yeah. So that didn't go over well.
I mean, that's military, right? Like that's if people that question the directive could get people killed.
And that's why I told her, and that's why people are getting their neck kneeled on for 10 minutes with 4 coworkers, and nobody's saying, "Hey, man, these handcuffs on the ground. Get the hell up off his neck," because of the lack of civilian mindset in the paramilitary. Oh, this dude, and we just go along with it, whether it's right or wrong. But I couldn't win that debate with my director. I said, you know, I was going to get myself in trouble, you know. And she's many times I've told that line, and she talked me out of a job. You know, they asked the director, "What's this guy about?" And all of a sudden I had a job, and all of a sudden I didn't, the job that I wanted. But long story short, yeah, she you know, she's I said, we're not in the military. Like one of my days, like I have reached it up to here, but it's paramilitary, Whitfield, and this decision, you need to get it through here. And I'm like, you know, so I know when it's like arguing with a referee or arguing with a cop at a stop. They got you're not going to win that. So it's like, stand down, soldier. You know? But yes, that it is crap. You know, I mean, everybody, I don't care what you're doing. You may love what you do, but you do what you do. Unless you're an entertainer in some art field, you do what you do. You leave your family, you leave raising your kids, you know, for money. That's what adults do. And you know, you might like all the byproducts and stuff of it. Some jobs have benefits. I got out of the little time I was a police officer, but in that year I got out of tickets. I was speeding like twice, and I'm showing, okay, you know, that's cool. You know, we go out to lunch, people are picking up our tabs. That's nice, you know. I mean, you might like that, but you're going to work and leaving your family for a paycheck.
Yeah.
So, yeah. People don't like to talk about it like that, or don't like to matter-of-factly like that, but that's matter-of-factly what it is. So,
well, I mean, I think I agree that it's definitely a part of it, but I think that
it's the biggest part.
That's fine, but I refuse to believe that there isn't something in these people that want to help, because I've had police help me. We had stuff stolen from my tiny home community. Some guy, and I got him on camera, and he pulled up and he parked, and he took 20 minutes and he parked there and he waited for the motion light to turn off, got out of his car, had a freaking a reflective vest on. You know, this is like 12:30 at night. Got out of his car, stole a chainsaw because it had been left out, gas cans, loaded up his car. I mean, this guy took his time and he just drove off. And so I found out, we had it all recorded, gave it to the police officer, and he was very helpful. And he went and he found the guy. He actually knew the guy. He didn't recognize him at first. But it turned, you know, he found out who it was, and he knew the guy, and went and talked to him, got most of my stuff back.
Most of it.
And like he was helpful in that regard. Like, and I believe that he wanted to be helpful.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And that takes place. And so feels good.
I don't want this to turn into a, you know, defund the police rally.
Do you understand what defund the police means, though?
No, I do.
Okay.
But I think, you know, and I want to quote Obama and say, like, the phrase, though, I get the point. It's all about making a point and making people uncomfortable to get them to talk about the topic. But I don't know how, once again, it's one of those things that I don't know if it's helpful for the topic, because I don't know. I understand what they're saying. They want to move funds away from the enforcement or from heavy artillery
Yep.
into
The-
social
The
services.
hundreds of
type
millions
stuff.
that are spent on that.
Yeah, I get what they're. My understanding is that's what they want to do when they say
Absolutely.
defund the police. However, any normal person, when they hear defund the police,
Yeah.
doesn't hear that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
hear defund the police, which
Like, get rid of
sounds
them.
crazy.
Yeah. Get rid of
So,
them. Yeah.
and I think that was Obama's point. Like, listen, when you want to use this as your slogan for a policy agenda, like, you sound crazy to the majority of people. Okay.
And that's
just
exactly
true.
what you're doing when you're trying to spearhead change. That's what you're doing. You're taking the minority and trying to convince the majority. So yeah, I agree with him with that.
But I don't.
A lot
But
of-
it might. But did it change some things? Maybe. I don't.
Well,
Person-
people been acting like it's been taboo, and people act like what's going on with the police isn't what's going on with the police, And all of cell phones just show that what we all knew and what we're sweeping under the rug is really happening. People are, unjustly policing Black people. It's been happening since police has started. People are over brutalizing Black people for, things that don't, require that. And I mean, I guess this is all just, I guess, spinoffs or byproducts of what's been happening and seeing it, and people getting tired of it. I think that's all it is.
Yeah,
But at least, long story, and like I said, I do agree with it. I do. They do need to change. Somebody said that I believe that the slogan needs to change because some people think that means get rid of the police, and that's how the opposition is looking at it. And every time they challenge it, they're like, "Who's gonna stop when somebody has a gun? When the bad guys are breaking in?" It's like, no, it's not get rid of the police, but the budgets are excessive, and that was one of the reasons. I'm like, man, I was looking at some of the transition from. Because like I said, bottom line is about money, right? I was looking for something to transition from investing full time to having something, when my wife was looking at getting pregnant. I was like, all right, I get, this is volatile. Let me get something consistent for a while. And the pension was like a sidebar. But I'm like, when I'm looking in these, upper echelon suburbs, and I'm like, man, police, after working here 4.5 years, police base salary are making $95,000. They're bringing in $115 with overtime, without crazy overtime. They're making $100,000 base salary. This is crazy. There's no other job that I could have went to school for 4 months and made $100,000. Granted, I do have my degree already, but it didn't matter.
But there's
no other job.
But there's also no other job that you could get shot at.
That's a good point. That is.
I mean, that's the thing, right? And I think that's my struggle with the topic is like, as a police officer, now granted, I don't know about many, but there are police officers that never have to really put their lives in danger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe at some point.
Let me just interject. I agree with that. And those police that typically don't have to put their life are working in the upper echelon suburbs, correct? Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your neighborhood.
I was trying to get in my own neighborhood. Those police officers are the ones making six figures. Okay.
Yeah. That's a good point.
The ones that are in risk of getting shot are making a third of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
So there you go again. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
But
see, and that's what
there's a risk of getting shot, but you're not making $100,000. If I had to work in Detroit, I wouldn't even consider it because it is. I mean, and the ones that make the least have to put their life on the lines more. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, that is crazy. Well, that was, I wrote mortgages before we met for like a year.
Okay.
And
not a bad business if you ever want to get out of if you want a paycheck and ever want to get on a payroll. That's not a bad business to be in because mortgages are going crazy.
Well, see, my problem was ethically it was difficult because as a mortgage person, you make the most money off the people that can least afford a mortgage.
Absolutely.
And I think it goes to the same thing like what you're saying with the with the officer salary. Like there's just something wrong with that. And I get why, because it's a higher risk and all that kind of stuff. But if it's a higher risk, the commission on that shouldn't be higher. It
Yeah.
should be lower because it's a higher risk. So I don't know. Those little things like that, really bugged me about being in mortgages. If I didn't have such a good team, a good supervisor, I wouldn't have made it a month just because it's such a toxic environment for me. Obviously, when you're a lot of these big, I won't name any names. Somebody can probably figure out where I worked being
Absolutely.
in Detroit, but it's very much like a being in a frat house, right? I mean, it's immature. There's a lot of immaturity. And I'm not saying everybody is, but I mean, they hired me, so clearly there's a good bit of immaturity. They were actively recruiting people without a college education because they knew they couldn't go anywhere once they were,
and they can work them into the ground.
Making 50 grand a year, but working 80 hours and can't go anywhere. And so that created an environment that was very much like, Wolf of Wall Street, or not that extreme. But very much
didn't have some of those perks from.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason the bankers had a reputation of being skeezy bankers. Like my wife, she dated me, and she wasn't going to date me because she didn't date coworkers. And her friend said, "Well, he's a banker and he's a senior banker. That means he's doing well and he makes money. He'll buy you a Coach bag." And so, yeah. So this is her friend. So she went on a date with me because she thought I'd buy her a Coach bag. And so, but that was the reputation of the banker. And for the record, I still have.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was their friend black?
No.
Okay, I'll just make it sure.
No.
Okay. Go ahead, continue.
And to this day, I still have not bought my wife a Coach bag because I know why she's in this relationship. So the second I give her that Coach bag, she's gone.
Okay, there it is. Well played.
It's been like 14 years, but
keep the carrot in front of the horse. Keep the carrot dangling in front of the horse.
That's right. That Coach bag's just got to sit there. You can see it. You can smell it. I'll get you a Coach wallet as a tease. No bag.
Just tease you.
Yep. No bag. Hey, babe, for Christmas this year, if you're listening to this, no Coach bag again. I love you. Maybe next year. You just have to stick around.
She's got to see this.
So this all started with Christmas, and we've managed to jam in a crazy lady at a political meeting, police officer brutality and stuff, and my wife's Coach bag. Well, we're back on Christmas, kind of.
There it is.
You're not getting.
Well, now we're back on Christmas. Let me get this clown makeup on and put it on. Got to get because that's why I feel like I've probably spent about 8 hours, probably a whole work day in the last 3 weeks, sitting in queues online for a PlayStation 5 for my son, and I have yet to been able to even get remotely. I did get it into the cart one time out of those 15. I got it into the cart before the website told me it either sold out or froze. It didn't let me put my credit card information in. And I've even got to the point to use my charming intellect to reason with my son of why not to want this and how stupid it is. And that's still not working, so. It's just ridiculous, man. I mean, every year they got like Beanie Babies and they got some high type. They got Tickle Me Elmos and stuff.
Get him like the original PlayStation, and just pretend like you didn't know. Yeah, get him some PS5 games and the original PlayStation.
That could buy.
So pissed. You're gonna be like, "What do you mean? It's a PlayStation. Those are PlayStation games."
There it is. That could buy me an extra week or two.
I'm just a dad. I don't know what this is.
And the thing is crazy. Like, this is my son, and this is 14. His birthday is the 21st. Christmas obviously is the 25th. And then I asked him what he wants, and sometimes he gets screwed. Like when he wants something big, he like kind of gets it. So he'll get like the system on his birthday, and then get games and stuff. He gets screwed every year. You get your biggest Christmas gift as your birthday. So he says, "I just want a PlayStation 5. I don't want anything else." So I'm like, I don't want anything else. Just give me a PlayStation 5. That's all I want. I want it for my birthday. I want it for my Christmas. I want it for my wedding gift from you guys. Just the future. All I want is a PlayStation 5. And this is the hardest thing to get on planet Earth ever in history. They got these bots built. They'll say, so I got like alerts from like a gaming networks that I could care less about that are giving me Twitter notifications. And then as soon as I go to the website, okay, it's going to go for sale at 10. I got my credit cards loaded up. I got his sister. I got my wife. I got myself. I got my cell phone. I got 4 different things. We press and click, buy it now. Right at that, doesn't matter. These bots do it in milliseconds, where I guess by the time you click and go to the next cart, they got some kind of program that's they call bots. That it's ridiculous, man. And some people have like 4,000 PlayStation, this one group. And now they're reselling them for double. And I don't see it ending anytime soon. It's just got to zen down.
Woosah.
Woosah. Woosah.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to take like a picture of a PlayStation 5.
That's what I was thinking. I'm not lying.
And be like, hey, listen, this is your present. You'll get it when you get it.
I was thinking I could take a picture of one, put $500 and like, you know, in a car with the picture on it, put it in a box, you know, a fake, like take a cereal box, say PlayStation 5, put $500 in it. When you get it, you get it. There you go. It's yours. Yeah. There it is. Actually, that's not bad. I honestly might do that. Gotta give him something, man. Give him some other little stuff. But yeah, that'll be his big present.
You could just give him the cash for it.
Yeah, and hey, like, yeah, say, hey, man, I've tried for a month. You give it a try. You think this crap so
there's
easy?
The money.
Yep. How about, yep, there you go. How about you give it a whirl? Live in my shoes, man.
Son.
There it is. You want to be the man of this house? Here's the money.
Let's go that. What were some of the big toys? Tickle Me Elmo was one.
Tickle Me Elmo, Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies were going crazy.
Yeah. That was like a whole thing, though. That was more than just Christmas. That was like
people were losing their minds.
Yeah,
people were losing their minds. I remember people were losing their mind for Tickle Me Elmo. That's got to be like 2 more. I specifically remember Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh, that stupid little alien doll. It was like a Furby. Was it Furby?
Oh yeah.
1 year Furby was hard to get. I think when they came out, Nintendo came out with that system, the original Nintendo that came preloaded with like 500 games or something like that.
Was it?
Maybe not that many, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Was it the Wii?
I ended up buying one for my wife for Christmas.
Yeah? Man, Nintendo.
She never played it. I played it for her though.
Man, I'm sure you did, Justin. You can't let that money go to waste. Yeah. It wasn't because you wanted the game. It was because you were a responsible adult and didn't want to waste money.
That's right.
It was. Yeah, man. I don't know this Christmas, man, but this is the worst one, and I'm mad I'm stuck in. And I fell right into the like wormhole. My son's 14. All he cares about is games, and they dropped this. It's such a nightmare, man. Such a nightmare. What do girls like? Like, what are your daughters like? What's your oldest daughter into? Is she still into toys? That's so.
No, she's like right at the cusp.
Yeah, once they start transitioning out of toys, man, Christmas gets tough.
Yeah. I mean, she still likes, stuffed animals and stuff, but she's getting real into like arts and crafts kind of stuff now.
Okay.
Making necklaces and bracelets.
Okay.
And kind of that.
Did she go through the slime phase that my daughter went through, or everybody's?
Oh, we outlawed slime.
Okay.
Because we got it on too much carpet, on too many ceilings. Nope, no more slime.
My daughter ruined her dresser. Her dresser surface is ruined from, I guess, slime mixing.
Slime is the worst. I'm convinced that slime was invented by carpet manufacturers. So we'll just market slime to kids.
Hey, check it. Look at the grandparents, though. I can't wait to, like, in another, 25 years, be able to do this to my kids. My mom she asks my daughter what she wants. Next thing I know, she's opening up a gallon of glue. She's like, oh, yeah, that's to make slime. That's what she asked for. And I'm like, okay. That's what it is. That's how it is. Like,
that's how we're gonna roll with this. Yeah.
A gallon of glue, a gallon of W glue, and she's making slime forever. And I'm just looking at my mom like, are you buying her a gallon jug of glue? How do you think that's gonna work out? She's like 9 at the time, 8, 9. I'm like, and of course. So we countered that and had her a fold out table and said, this is the only place that you can make slime on. We had her like a little table that she could pop out and mix and get glitter everywhere. Glitter and food color. Oh yeah, of course she still ruined her dresser. So we should have said, never use this table ever. Then we'd have been good.
Yeah. Should have had her make all the glue, put in a baggie, and then send her to grandma's house.
There. Dang, Justin. Hey. Dang, we
Go
need
play
that
at grandma.
that W cynicalness. Dang, I should have recruited it.
Oh, man. I actually helped a buddy of mine because he was struggling with his son. And
Okay.
he was like, man, this kid's not doing it. So he's got to punish, he's got to punish him for not doing homework or whatever,
Mhm.
not cleaning up, not doing chores. And he was like talking to a therapist or something. The therapist is like, you can't, and this is not a joke. I know I'm setting it up like it's a joke, but it's not happened. The therapist told him like, no, you're not supposed to punish kids for doing stuff like that because, it's a behavioral issue. It's punishment isn't working with him. You need to try incentivizing kind of thing. So what I told him is,
So
well, you just got to change the rules. Okay, here's how you do that. And he had like 6 kids. Blanket rule: everybody's getting beat today. Okay, so you change the baseline. Now the baseline is you're getting beat. So
okay.
now when you do your homework, it's a reward to not get beat. Okay,
It's basically the same thing.
all
It just
about
sounds
changing the
different.
dynamic.
It's the same thing, but it just sounds different.
So now it's a reward.
Okay.
Yeah, now you're getting a reward. Well, the cages. Yeah. What was that?
There
What
it
were we
is.
talking about? That was like that. Well, if you word it this way, it's okay. But if you word it this way, that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say that. You did because you were
Yeah.
defending putting.
No,
kids
if you
in.
word it that you're using the cages to protect people and ensure safety, it's okay. But if you say that you're using the cages to deter people from entering the country, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. Yeah.
That was-
I see how you did that. Yeah.
It's like newsflash: kids in cages is just bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah. Concur. I concur. That one I can't argue with you about, much as I like to.
No, you can, and you will.
Well,
As soon as we all cut, I'm sure there'll be a text. I thought about it, and this is where you're wrong.
That is true. That is
So
true.
what are you guys doing?
Really quick from your story, I did find the most W thing I've ever heard. You keep screwing up, you don't do stuff, we can't punish. That's not how we do it. You got to incentive. You need to reward for screwing up. You need to create more rewards for screwing up. That's the most W thing. That's what.
Wait, isn't that kind of the liberal agenda? Like
no,
the worse you do, the more we'll give you.
No, that's just for police. The more
we know.
That's just what we're doing for police.
A friend of ours, she got pregnant out of wedlock, but she was going to marry the guy. But she did not marry the guy because the government gave her more money to not marry the guy for the birthing and the healthcare and all. She got pregnant out of wedlock, and then didn't get married yet because she got money from the government to pay for all the medical of having her baby before. So then she got married. So that's what I mean. Like there's incentivize the certain policy, and I think. And I'm not saying it's a general rule, but
I get it. Yeah,
you lose your job. We'll just give you some money.
It's not. You can't cut
hurt,
it off. Like there's going to be people that use that gray area, but it's a lot of people that can't afford the baby that we can be like, oh, sorry, you can't afford.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah, but there's always going to be people that abuse it. It's going to be people on that gray area that are using it to their benefit. So,
but in politics, you have to play the extreme.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta act like that's the case every time.
Yep.
That's what we're facing.
That's right. They're all thieves.
Do you know how many more women would be married right now if it wasn't for us paying for this health care?
That's right.
They're all waiting.
Yep. And on the opposite side, it's helping everybody. Everybody needs it. No one would ever dare cheat the system.
Justin, you're 2 for 2. 3 strikes and you're out. We got to pull the plug on the show if I agree with you one more time. There's 2 agree. We can't do it anymore. So stop making so much sense. It's bad for business.
It'll go out. We'll change that.
Okay.
We'll change that. This has been a longer episode. We're kind of off our time. I feel like we were time constrained, and like when we were trying to fit it, and that was my fault. I'll take the blame for that. Trying to fit it into like a half-hour block, and like trying to watch the time and stuff. And I feel like, I'm kind of giving up on that. Like, let's just.
But I know why you were doing it. It's that they pick those segments and those time frames for TV shows because that's kind of where it fits. That's kind
Yeah,
of where it's a trend. Yeah, you know, it's
but
for a reason.
but I think part of what I realized is like for a podcast, like it's not something that people sit down and
That's
schedule.
true. I listen to my podcast driving, doing work. I got headphones
Yeah.
in, cleaning up around the house. You're right. That's a good
So you don't
point as
care
well.
how long it is.
Yeah,
You just want the content to be good.
Yeah,
You know, it could go for 10 hours. You don't care. You'll turn it off. You'll start it again the next
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I listen to guys that can't beat a 14-year-old at a outdoor basketball court talk about basketball for an hour and a half. I look up and I don't even realize how long it was. Like if I,
Yeah.
like their opinions and like the points they're making, I'm just going to listen to them talk about basketball. Dang, I just realized that too. Why am I listening to these guys talk about basketball? They don't know crap. Anyways, go ahead.
Feel like you had more to go there.
Yeah, man. I was about to go there, but
Um,
we're pushing an hour. I'll say that.
All right, man. Well, so next week, are we going to do the Black, White, Jesus, Santa segment? We want to get into that? I think that'd be
Yeah.
good.
I got some. I got something. Matter of fact, that might be my first guess. But he works for a school, so I don't know if he's ready to go down that slope. If he's ready to go into the jungle with the zebras, I don't know. I'll see. But
Well,
he
you
will
just
be
whipped that out
perfect.
for this one, though. We weren't really having the jungle kind of stuff, but you whipped it out. We're going in the
Yeah,
jungle.
Yes.
But
Known to whip it out, babe. I'm known to whip it out.
hold on. Yeah, no, because it'd be embarrassing. But I'm pretty sure zebras aren't in the jungle. Aren't they in like the savannah, like the Sahara?
Is
Like
that the
jungle is like heavily wooded and big brush, and I don't remember ever seeing like they're like. I mean, I don't know. I get most of my knowledge from TV and movies, and like I watched Madagascar, and like there was
That's where I'm getting it. That's where I'm getting my zebra knowledge. Like 90% of it is from Madagascar. Okay.
but the zebras weren't in the jungle area.
But
There was
I
the
will counter
jungle
you with-
area.
I will counter you with this. Who hunts and eats zebras? Lions. What are lions? King of what? I'll rest my case.
Too much Madagascar.
King of the jungle. They eat the zebras. They got to be in the jungle.
Do lions? I don't even know. I'm gonna Google that. Do lions? This is important stuff. Do
I'm
lions?
not going to act like I know. I have no idea.
Zebras. No, you already acted like you.
Lions are king of the jungle.
It is on their list. Lions usually hunt at night. I didn't know that.
Oh, for sure. They just lay around in the sun all day.
Ah, I see why you're fixated on lions, because they are an African animal.
Facts. Yeah. There it is. There it is. We couldn't be the wild
We could have been the wild turkeys.
yeah, the wild turkey. I'm just thinking of something that lives in like the Antarctic, the wild penguins. It doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah.
And they're black and white too. It would have worked, but nah.
Yeah, it would have worked. It would have worked. But where are zebras in other places? Because now I feel like I got the short end of the stick. Because now,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
the turkeys are American.
But
I
in your defense, everybody's African because the first person was found in Africa. So you're an African.
Is this true, or is this
Absolutely.
is this? See, now I don't even know what to call black
See,
people.
look at
Is this a dark complected talking point?
this is actually facts. I could give you so much. The oldest fossil ever found, I forgot they named the woman, and they tested the bones. I guess you can test bones for melanin, and it had clearly it was high and it was on the African continent. After they found that, the region mysteriously flooded. But the oldest fossil to date, you can look at it. Yeah. The oldest fossil to date was they tested it for melanin. I didn't even know you can test bones for melanin, but yeah. And check it out. Look, oldest fossil to date. So my African brother, I see why you wanted to be the wild zebras.
How did it get demelanined? If they were the first, what happened? Like, how do you demelanize?
No,
Or do we all have
no,
melanin?
no. Yeah, somehow, something from the cold weather regions. I've heard Caucasus Mountains. Don't get me started on that. I do know about the fossil. That is hearsay about white people migrating to cold weather and like, I guess, what's it called when you what's it called when birds?
It's in all people, dude.
What's it called? Maybe it'd be Darwinism. That's not the word I'm looking for. But anyways, when you change to fit your surroundings or climate, you know, fish learn how to walk on land, and walking birds learn how to fly to keep from getting eaten, or they change colors over time. Over 150 years, they go from this color to this color because a predator was eating them, blah, blah, blah. So I guess certain people ventured out, I don't know, to cold weather. So your blue eyes and light eyes is to reflect snow, and your stringy hairs to cover your ears.
It sounds to me like what happened
I don't know.
Because the darker skin, right? It was the sun, right?
For the sun, to protect you from the sun, and then the dense hair.
So all the
to
nice,
block you from the sun.
So it was all the nice areas, and then you had basically you kicked out people and forced them into wintry nightmares,
so
forcing their skin to get white. So slavery is probably because originally
because they couldn't stay in the sun.
It's the white people are the people that got kicked out and not welcomed into the community. They went and became resentful and then started slavery.
That could be an argument.
It's the only logical explanation.
I tell you what, it's more logical than what we started the show off with. Old girl, you can make a better point than her with those voting stuff. That's got more traction. That's got more traction.
If you go back, like, yeah, I mean, we all got our stuff throughout time. Everybody has been affected throughout time by something. I just think, you know, that obviously right now in our time, the slavery of African Americans Africans being brought over and enslaved is the more recent one, right?
Yeah.
But like,
it's all kind of atrocities, but yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah. I mean, World War II, the Jews were like right there too. I mean, that was, I don't want to minimize anybody. That was kind of a big deal. Yeah. It was a super big deal. And then you got Christians throughout time. You've got, I mean, even in, you got China and doing stuff with the other.
Oh, for sure. And everybody got reparations for those wrongdoings, except Black people for getting raped, murdered, and tortured for things. But yeah, everything has happened. And America's tried to right the wrongs for most of them, except for the most egregious one.
Well, so you're the most egregious, or like Native Americans are the most egregious?
No, well, so here's the argument here. And I'm going to ask you this personally. Would you rather somebody come and just kill you, okay? Or would you rather somebody get your family and just kill you all, okay? You don't exist. Yeah. Would you rather somebody enslave you, okay? Rape your daughters in front of you, come in your hut, rape your wife, beat you, cut your body parts off if you try to run away, do this, and then know that your kids, then you die. Then your kids have to live through it, and their kids have to live through it. Which one would you choose? You specifically.
Oh, I'd die.
That's the answer. That's my answer too. I don't know. Maybe somebody else would want to live through that and have their kids and their kids' live through it. Or, that's like, I don't want to come in, guy, take my daughter from me and go have his way with her and then throw her back out and say work, and have to live through that. But such was life.
Imagine.
Yeah. So. I mean, yeah, it is goddamn bad, but I just think torture for that, generation upon generations is worse. Because I think that was a debate I got with somebody as far as the Holocaust or the Black Holocaust, which you call slavery, which is worse. And just kill me. Just kill me. I don't want my kids to suffer. Some people killed their kids. So they the
Holocaust, though, the what they were doing there, that was not just killing people. That was.
Oh yeah, for sure. But at the same, it's from largely they were trying to decimate the race, but they were experimenting and doing.
Oh yeah, that was
stuff without actually. Yeah, those people were nuts. Like a lot of the stuff too. They just took a statue down, and I know this because my wife works in the medical field. Of the guy that was supposed to be the father of modern gynecology, they just took a statue down. Trump and the Republicans hate, tearing down history because, that's just the way it was. But the guy that was supposed to be the father of modern gynecology became that by operating on Black women. They had some notion of some certified medical that Black women didn't feel pain. So he would operate on them without anesthesia.
Oh, wow.
experiment on them. And he did find some good things about the woman anatomy that would help them going forward. But when they found out how much of a monster he was and how he was torturing these women and taking them in there and doing all this stuff to them, no anesthesia when he could have simply gave it to him. I don't even know why he would. Well, I know why he wouldn't. They just took down the statue because he was basically like one of the Nazi experimental doctors, but you know, black women were seen as less than human. And they just took a statue down.
We just watched a show. I forgot what it was on Amazon Prime, where it was Aboriginal. I don't know if it was Australia or I don't know. I don't remember where it was, but where I think it was British though. I don't remember.
The Ghost of Leopold. The Ghost of Leopold.
I don't know what it was called, but they would go in the Aboriginal people, and they would take the children that were light skinned, take them from their families, and go and put them in white people schools and try to make them be white or something like that. Like,
no, I didn't see that.
And like stuff like that just boggles my mind. There was one of the scenes it was like during war. It was a war scene, World War II or something like that, I think. And like a white soldier had been shot and got picked up, helicoptered up, and the person there to help him was black, and he said, you know, something like, don't touch me, something derogatory. I don't remember what he said. It was probably not okay. I probably shouldn't repeat it. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And the guy dies, and the two people that you know, I think he was a black guy, and then she was one of the girls that got taken, but she was coming back and singing songs. It was about a band, a girl, four women that were singing for like the I don't know. Crazy though, man. Like crazy. Like this wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
this
look like you said. Look at the Tuskegee experiments when they were giving black guys syphilis and letting them die, letting them just get tortured up just to see. This was not that long ago. This is on American soil, like less than 100 years ago. Like some people have surviving members of that. Like, you know, like.
But I think that speaks to why it's so hard for some people, like me included, to like come to grasp with it, because we didn't get raised that way. I mean, we didn't get, you know, my mom. I know, you know, my grandpa was a blatant racist. I have an uncle that's a blatant racist, but we weren't. That was like one-off things. Like we weren't with them all the time. You know, it wasn't like we were inundated with this very vitriolic racist rhetoric and, you know, that kind of stuff. We just weren't. You know, and like I said, my mom worked for a black judge, Kurt Wilder. Great guy, nice guy. Known him for most of my life. So it was just never something that we were aware of. Like, yeah, you read about slavery, but when you're a kid, you don't comprehend like that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So when you're a kid,
they reduce it, like, oh, they just had to work, you know. They weren't talking about cutting people's genitals off and, you know, doing the stuff and rape and the torture.
Yeah,
and
they whitewash it.
Yeah. Oh, they had to work.
But when you're 10, 12 years old, you know, 30 years ago is like forever. You know, that's 3 lifetimes ago. Like, get over it.
True.
You know, so I think like when you get older, you almost have to revisit some of that stuff so you can realize that it wasn't as long ago. You know,
absolutely. So and the stuff that you missed. I didn't learn about a lot of stuff till I took African American Studies at Eastern Michigan. Like before that, I went Farmington High. So I got this much of a chapter on slavery, and they had to work and they would get them and they would slave them. They're not talking about tearing people apart like cattle and selling your kids off on purpose. And, you know, just, you don't get that part of it till you really get into histories or schools credit. Your brain's not ready for that. And a lot of people don't go to college, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who it doesn't affect, they don't care to take African American studies. So how do you get the knowledge? You know, how do you know that, you know, it wasn't that bad?
I was so sheltered. I still remember the first Jewish person I met.
Really? Yo, you were in Livonia growing up. It was.
I was in Plymouth. I grew up in Plymouth.
I mean,
and it was like Christmas time. And I remember because this kid was like, "Oh yeah, I don't believe in Santa." I'm like, "What?" Everybody believes in Santa. He's like, "No, I'm Jewish." I'm like, "What the hell?" No, like,
look at this guy.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. Yeah. you grow up with what you're surrounded by, and so
Yeah.
whatever you're told, and I think that's part of the problem is you've got a group of light-skinned folk who focus on the whitewashing part of all of it, and like, okay, we're not there anymore to them, right? Like, we aren't doing these things anymore, so it's not a big deal anymore, right? That's kind of the environment that you probably even got raised in, right? Like, so when you're raised,
heard that many times,
right?
Heard that
So
many.
like, but you're raised in that insulated environment where like it wasn't presented like people still thought that way. It was presented like this happened a long time ago. We don't think this way anymore, right?
Let it go. Get over it. Let it go.
Right. So
but never forget 9/11 though.
Well, fair enough. But
never forget Pearl Harbor. Forget
Yeah.
about slavery, but never forget Pearl Harbor.
but it wasn't about forgetting. It was about we're past it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't about forgetting about it because it was still taught, but it was, and I don't know if this is just my memory of it, but it was just there. There was this thing that happened and it was terrible, and now we're past it, right? And in certain environments, but then you realize in other environments, like if you're growing up in a Black household, that is probably taught very differently. When you're, now, granted, I don't care what color skin you are, you had to talk about respect police officers and they can kill you. But my understanding is in a Black household, it's taken to another level, right?
Absolutely.
It's because you are Black. And so you got these two groups of people that are trying to come together and
to be perfectly honest, your parents didn't have to have that talk with you, man. Honestly, did your parents have to talk to
Absolutely. Just like I'm gonna have to talk with my kid. Anybody that doesn't have to talk about that kid with police officers is insane. Are you kidding?
Your parents were scared that police officer could kill you if you didn't hold your hand on the steering wheel or whatever. You got, long story short, kids are scared of death, of unjust death by police officers.
No, they are not scared of it. I didn't teach them to be scared of it.
Okay.
I did not get taught to be scared of it.
Okay.
And I think that's a big difference.
Were you taught that there is a very real possibility that your life could end at the hands of a police officer as a teenager, even though that you weren't a gangbanger, a drug dealer, or anything?
No, but we were taught that as long as you respect them, you do what they're told.
I get that.
You won't.
My whole point is, was it ever taught that you could die at the hands of them, even though that you're not a bad kid?
I mean, I don't know if those exact words, but yeah, that was always the assumption that you could either die or they could throw you in jail.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'd rather get thrown in jail than die.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying
it's the death for me. I don't know about you. It's just
the death for me. and what I'm saying is I understand that the conversation is different for the two those two specific.
No, I was just checking. I didn't know if white people or W people, if they had to tell their kids, if they had that same fear that they could get killed by the police, even though my mom was a good person, but she know I was a 6 foot skinny Black kid that was driving, and she know if I moved.
I would say that part is different. That fear that
of your kid not coming home because they could get shot.
That wasn't a fear. It was taught. It was you need to respect police officers because they are an authority figure. Yeah. And they could put you in jail if you don't act right and you do what they say. I mean, all that stuff, we had all that. Okay. It didn't come with the fear part of
dying, of never coming home again.
Yeah, that wasn't part of it.
Fair enough.
It was don't be an idiot, don't be stupid. If they're there, you put your hands up, you do what but it wasn't that extra level of
don't move too fast, keep your hands on the steering wheel.
We had all that. Yeah, I mean, we had all this stuff of like, keep your hands on the steering wheel. We had all that.
That's what I'm thinking. Because even if your hands aren't on the steering wheel, they're not going to shoot you. That's what I was wondering. But it's good,
No, but like I said, I think the fear part of it is more prevalent in the way that they are. So like what's taught is the same, but that fear. And from what I understand, I haven't experienced it, but from what I understand, talking to you, talking to other people who have been through it. Phaeton, who is here, it happens disproportionately to Black people, from what I've gathered. And
that might be an understatement. That might be an understatement.
Well, and I don't know if that's only because I live in primarily white communities that it only happens to Black people, or mostly happens to Black people disproportionately, or if it disproportionately happens to Black people in Black communities as well, or if in a Black.
Oh no, it gets worse when you get out here, man. What are you doing out here?
I've heard that, and that blows my mind. So
when I moved to Farmington. And my friend started driving before because he's a year older than me. The first 2 weeks I lived out here, we got pulled over 5 times, 0 tickets, 5 times. That's when like I told you, we had 8 graduating Black people from Farmington High.
But just bear with me for a second. Was it because the Black people? Was it because the police hated Black people, or was it just because it was all white, and so somebody that's Black is clearly coming from and I'm not saying this isn't racist, but it wasn't an overtly racist act as much as it was, hey, we know this is a white community because we know Farmington's a small town. That's not a big city. And we know there aren't any Black people that live in Farmington because there probably weren't. Or if you were one of the first. You were
Yeah, well, like I said, 8 graduating Blacks out of like 400 people. So
once again, I'm not trying to justify it, but I think it's looked at differently. Like, is it
the way you look at it? Even the second example was racist. Like,
I didn't say that it wasn't.
This isn't like a snow. Like you gave, like, was it overtly racist, or did they look at it like this? And the second example was still racist. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a white only town. Like, even if I wanted to drive down, even if my girlfriend was white, I should be able to go there without getting pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm Black in a white town.
Not, like I said, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, it's like, but that's what the cops do. Either way, it's racist. Like, you don't live out here. You're up to no good. You're going and ransacking houses and raping women. Like. Well,
but I think they're going to do that either way, right? I think it's the same. Well, and I'm not trying to say that this is equivalent, so please just don't go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
But like, a police officer is going to be more likely to give a ticket for an out-of-town license plate, regardless of skin color, than for an in-state license plate.
I like that example. I see what you're trying to do there. I'll allow it.
I'm not saying it's the same.
Allow it. Yeah, I'll allow it. I like that.
But it's like, okay, you're clearly not from around here, and now they're using skin color in that example,
and that's what they do. That's police intuition.
It's easy, right? It's like
that's
easy.
The police
if you're in an all-white community, that's easy. Or like, I could say probably, like, if you're Muslim and you wear like the full garb and that kind of thing, like, I'm not saying it's okay, but I get why they are singled out if they're in a certain community, because you're an outsider. You aren't the norm there, so you have more eyes on you. Okay?
Absolutely.
Once again, I'm not trying to get into whether it's right or wrong.
No, I dig it. I dig it. And those are fair points. That was a great. You don't, man. You're on fire today. Normally they're horrible. That was a great analogy from the. I see you weren't comparing, but from the having the out-of-state place, versus you were making that to being Black in a white neighborhood. You're going to get, they're going to follow you. They're going to see what's up, and all that stuff.
But what you're saying is it doesn't matter. Even if you're in a Black community, it's the same.
Yeah, they should treat you. For the first those 5 times, in that first 2 weeks when I got here, and my friend, I couldn't drive yet, we got pulled over for driving 5 under the speed limit.
You're probably high.
Yeah, that's where my friend apparently swerved over the yellow line. They were just waiting for the thing. They wanted to make sure we weren't doing
that time. He was drinking.
Wanted to make sure we weren't doing any drinking. We didn't come to a complete stop at a stop sign. Okay. We didn't come to a complete stop at a flashing red, and I don't remember the 5th one.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're a terrible driver.
No, I wasn't driving yet.
Your friend was a terrible driver.
No, he wasn't.
Be honest.
Everybody's wheels touched the yellow line at some point. They just got to wait long enough.
Fair enough. Be honest though, you were in the car. Were those did those actually happen? Were those 4 things you got pulled over for? Did they happen, or did they make them up? You were in the car. Do you remember?
I'm going to lean on for the first one, driving 5 miles under. We knew they were following us. We knew they were running us. We knew they were looking for opportunity. He took it to the point where, okay, if it was 45, he was driving 40. And yes, that did. We were driving 500. If you drive 500, you're not getting pulled over. Matter of fact,
that's
I don't
crazy.
I don't even think it's illegal.
Personally, I wish people that were going 500 would all get pulled over and taken off the road, because they piss me off. But yeah, no, I agree. That's a bad one.
I know we were two Black teenagers. We knew as soon as they came up, we were getting behind us. We got scared. He drove 500. I don't even know why we got pulled over. I don't even know how he even felt to muster to say that that's the reason. Yellow line, crap. I don't know.
He didn't cross the yellow line.
I mean, the wheel might have touched it. I don't know, but they were looking for reasons to,
Okay, fair enough.
And then the not coming to a complete stop at a stop sign is BS. Flashing light, I'm not sure. You know, I mean, do you want us to come and rock back and sit there and rock forward? I mean, all those things. We didn't get tickets on any of the 5 stops.
So they couldn't have been that racist.
You can't give us something out of nothing. You just want to stop and see what
I don't think
boys
you get
do. Every single
think...
time they asked me where we were going, and my dad, there was one of like the newer houses, one of the premier neighborhood in Farmington, even back then in 1998. And it's a one street, it's a cul-de-sac. I would tell them where I would live, tell them we just moved there, and then you can kind of like see their eyebrows go up, and that was that. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, it ain't like we just we're not doing here, and we stay in an affluent neighborhood. Probably leave these black kids alone that aren't doing anything.
There you go.
That's not okay. There you go. It's all good.
Off the hook.
We'll probably get sued. They got a little bit of money. Let them go. Oh yeah, it's okay. They can't just drive home without getting pulled over.
You got no ticket? What's the problem?
We getting any tickets. First 2 weeks, 5 stops, 0 tickets.
See,
my mom was.
You know why you got off the hook?
Because we weren't
black.
doing anything to get
They
stopped.
give you a free pass just because you're black.
My mom was.
They didn't want to be called racist, so they're like, "Oh, we better let these guys off the hook because they're going to be pulling race cards."
Damn right. Just because we actually are racist,
We got to cover up from being racist. We got to let them off.
My mom was terrified. And this is like the super baggy clothes, do-rag, backwards hat with the do-rag.
Okay,
with the back.
I don't care what color you are. If you dress like that, you deserve to get arrested and pulled over.
Teenager. Everybody's cool. Allen Iverson's dressing like that.
No, I'm sorry. No teenager is actually cool. You know that, right? You're old enough to know that.
Slim Shady was dressing like that. Come on,
he should have definitely been pulled over every time. Absolutely.
No way. They would have.
He was always up to no good. Are you kidding me?
They would have seen that bleached blonde top, and he'd have been okay. But she was like, "Oh, don't wear your hat backwards." I remember my friend Garland, his mom. He was Garland. I guess I got my license late. Garland drove me to school for like the first 6 months of like my
Lieutenant Governor of Michigan, who's going to be on our show one day.
Yeah. We need to do the Garland watch too. He would wear his mom. I remember his mom yelling at him because he pulled in the driveway with his hat cocked to the side like that.
Yeah.
And she went and she tore into him about what the police would do to you just because your hat's turned this way and blah, 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 blah. It's just a different life, man. It's a different life. Tore into him because his hat, not because she didn't like the hat, because she was genuinely scared that he could get killed because his hat was turned that way. And he's 6'7". In high school, he was like 6. Even back when we were in junior,
I mean, shoot.
I mean, we were all like 100 pounds, like this big, but you got these 6 foot plus, 2 black teens, big plus black equals extra no good. Blacks already, but you're 6 foot and black.
Save the women and children. Here come the blacks.
and we're little kids. We don't know any better, but to them, they don't see us. Like, my son's he's 5'8" now. He shot up. He went from like 5'2" to 5'8" in this last year. Now he's about to be a scary black guy.
Yeah, kids are dumbasses. Yeah. But I think that was your buddy's mom's point, is like, you're a dumbass kid. Like, kids are stupid. Like hopefully you don't still wear saggy pants. Please tell me you don't wear saggy pants, CJ. No?
Huh? I used to definitely.
But you don't anymore because you know how stupid it is.
It's just that. I mean, just fashion's changed. Now my pants are so like, it's so fitted like Euro style. I kind of feel like a girl jumping in them, getting in them. You know what I'm saying? It's just fashion has changed. But if it was big and baggy, I would still wear them. I'd
still be baggy if I wasn't married. My wife had to redo my whole wardrobe, and she went and we went and tried on jeans and stuff. Yeah. And she got so embarrassed because like I'm walking out and I'm like, you can see my junk in these. Like, so I'm asking a little high school boy who's helping get clothes. I'm like, can you see my junk in this? It's way too tight. And so my wife's all embarrassed, and I'm like,
bless your wife's heart, man.
Yeah. It surprised me because I can barely see my own junk. Like, holy cow, where'd that come from?
Tell her to watch out, man. Yeah. You go get some junk hunting chicks now that she switched her jeans up, man. She brought it on herself.
I started keeping a sock down there, not like the tube sock. I put like the thick winter sock, the one that's like an inch thick, and fold that down.
The big wool ones.
Yeah.
The wool ones that white people wear with sandals when it's
go big or
outside.
go home, baby. I'm in for getting some ladies in for some real disappointment.
catfish. That's the catfish to the nth degree. Old
What's
bait and
that?
switch. The old
Oh,
bait and
yeah.
switch.
Gotcha.
All right, man. Let's shut it down. I gotta run around. That was good. We can't do better than that. We gotta.
All right, man. Next week, we'll pick a time, but everybody, thanks for joining us for the Wild Zebras. We're gonna probably do some just let it go like this. Sometimes when we just let it go, that's when we get to the fun stuff instead of cutting it short and having to
Yeah, like
restart.
Justin's junk. What if we cut it short? We never would have got to Justin's junk. That's
I
the
know.
good stuff. It's the good
Yeah.
stuff. Or bad
Quality.
stuff.
Quality. Oh, all right, CJ. I'll talk to you.
All
And,
right, peace, everybody.
Join us next time on the Wild Zebras.